We are going to be taking a look at WCT Farm and Lawn and going over the basics of how to use the WordPress installation that we have for it. If you want to log in so that you can make changes, edits, add photos, take things away, then you go to wctfarmandlawn.com/wp-admin, and then you'll have a username and password. We have ours preloaded here. Once you get into the site, then you will have a dashboard, and all of this white area here is pretty close to useless, and so you don't need to concern yourself with that. But over on the left side, then we have all of the things that make your website function. Everywhere that you can make changes comes through these areas over here. We have an area for updates, and these are for updates to plugins or to the theme or to WordPress itself, and we'll be coming in every couple of weeks and updating this and being sure that you're kept up to date. You don't need to worry about that. If you click update on it at some point, then that's okay, but there's no need to be concerned with it. We have post here, and the posts are not things that are being used for this particular website. That would be more likely to be used on a site with a blog or a newspaper website, something of that nature. And we can utilize that in some other ways, but we're not doing it right now on this website. If you ever find that you're in a place where you might need to use posts, then they function very similarly to pages, and so you can look at a more detailed tutorial to understand how pages work, and then you'll be able to know how these posts basically work as well. Under media, then we have a library, and it has all of the media files for your website. Some of these actually are live on the website, some of them aren't, but they are all stored here. We have a couple of here that are not ones that we need to have on here. They were part of a tutorial from earlier. We'll delete those while we're in here. Once you delete an image, it is gone. We have a backup of your site, but it might be that we have what you've deleted, or we might not, so it's best to be careful about what you go around deleting. We have forms here, and we use a plugin called Gravity Forms, and it's great. It's the best that you can get, and it does wonderful things. In this case, it's a very simple contact form, and so it's not much, but it can be utilized to do far greater things if you ever get to the point you want to do that, accept payments, have conditional logic, all sorts of fun things. We have a more detailed tutorial on it that you can take a look at in a bit. Here we have pages, and we have all the pages for the website with the exception of the home page. And the home page is controlled through a different area. We'll go over that in a moment. But everything else is controlled through here. If you ever need to edit a page, you come and click edit, or if you want to get rid of it, you click trash. We have comments here, and we're not using comments on the website, so there's nothing here right now. If there ever were some part of the website that used comments, then it might be through here that we control the comments, or it might be through some other system. We have food gallery. And it can be used for very basic galleries. It can be used for things that are just basic picture galleries on the website, but then we're using it in a little different way, and we'll go over that in more detail here in a bit. Under Genesis, then we have some theme settings, but these theme settings are not anything that you really want to mess with. They are more advanced things for the most part. You can come in here and mess with them if you want to. It's your website, so you can do as you please, of course, but we would probably advise against doing that too much. Under Appearances, then we have Themes, and we have a theme installed here, and it's been highly customized for you, and that's great. And if you ever want to switch out to a different theme, you can. It might not have everything built into it to be able to take advantage of what you have on your website right now, so you should probably come to us if you're considering switching out to a different theme. We have a Widgets section here. And the widgets section is for controlling things that happen on the home page. It can also be used for other areas on the website, but right now it's only for the home page and for the header. And we go into more detail on this, but if you want to change anything on the home page, anything on the header, this is the section to be coming to. Plugins are little bits of software that make the website have additional functionality, and we have these installed, everything that you need right now, but you could have additional plugins that you add. There are many out there. Many of them are great. Many of them are not so great. And some of them will work very well with this theme. Some of them won't. And so you're probably best off coming to us if you have an idea of something new you want to add. You're probably best off asking us real quick beforehand, or you can try it out yourself and see what happens, and it might work great. Or it might need some adjustment, and we can help out with that as well. We have users here, and this has the users who have access to the website, those who can make changes to the website here. We have 3 on here right now. And you can add more, take some away. It's up to you. Under Tools, we really don't have anything that is worth considering. In Settings, we have a General section, and it can control just a couple of things that would matter to you. WCT Farm and Lawn is the site title. The tagline is Tractors, Farm Equipment, and More. Those things appear on the tab at the top here, and if you stay hovering over it, then it should pop up with the whole thing. There we go. And it has the whole thing there, and if you ever want to adjust that, you certainly can. And you can change the email. That is the primary email address on here. I have it set up for me right now in case there's any problems. That way the emails come to me. You could change it out to yours, and that would be okay as well. We have a few other settings here for writing and reading. None of them are terribly important. Nothing too much need to consider. We have SEO Yoast installed on here. It helps to ensure that your website is set up in an SEO-friendly way. You can go in and do some more detailed changes to it. We're not going to cover those in a tutorial. They're a little bit more advanced than what we're looking to cover for this, but you can explore that on your own if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, or if you find that you are highly interested, let us know and we can try to help guide you through that process. We have Soliloquy down here. It's a slider system. That means a slideshow. It's what's on the home page. If you notice here, then we have a nice large slideshow here, and it comes from the home slideshow. Very easy to use, and we have a detailed tutorial coming up if you just stick around and keep watching. If you ever have questions about any of these things, then feel free to text, email, or call us, and we will be glad to help you out. Let's start by taking a look at our service page here. And we go over here and we make sure we click on visual. Now the text part over here, then that shows exactly what's going on with the HTML to some extent and some other details. But if you go over to visual, it's a little bit easier to understand what's going on. And we have an image over here, we got some text. It's fairly simple to understand how to make changes to most of this. If you want to change what is written here, then you simply type in whatever you want. Now, you can know this whole time that whatever we do here is not going live. We are making edits, but nothing has changed from what the end user can see right now. If you ever want to know what's going on, you simply click on Preview, and then you can see what your changes look like, see if they are what you are looking for. We come back over here and we say, oh, I don't want that after all. You can hit Control-Z just like you always would to undo something, or Command-Z if you're using a Macintosh computer. If we want to add more imagery within this, we have one image here. Let's say we want something more. We're not necessarily aiming for visual perfection right now as we do this, but we just want to give an example of how this basically works. We want to add an image here of a UTV, and we can click to insert it on the page. If we want to make some adjustments beforehand, then we can say we want to align it to the left or the center or the right. We can make it linked to a certain URL or a media file, and we can choose what size we want it to be. Let's leave it as it is for this moment, and then we can see it's on the page here, and then we think, oh, that's too big. I don't want it either of these, any of these certain sizes that are already set. I can make it whatever I want. You don't need to understand exactly what you're doing. You can just play with the numbers until it gets just right. If you want a caption, you can add a caption up here, and you click Update. Now when you make that caption change, it's only for this one page when you do it through here. That's all that it's for. We click Preview, we see how it looks, and we say, yeah, that exists. Maybe not perfect looking, but it looks like what we told it to look like. And we have these things here. If you want to make things bold, if you want to make changes just like you would within Microsoft Word, then you can do those things. Bold, italicized. You can make it a different color. Play with it to your heart's content. You can link it up to some other place. Make it open in a new tab when people click on it. We can see how beautiful this is, just as we told it to be. There we go. And then we think, though, I've done all this work and it's not quite what I want. I'm not going to save these changes. All you got to do is leave the page, and then it will be as it always was. We have some other parts of this going on too. If you want to add a slider to this, it's like a slideshow, then you can do that. You don't have any sliders that would make sense at this moment, but you could do that if you wanted to. Add an image gallery from over here. You can click and insert that into there. If there's a form you want, it's very simple to be sure that you have a form within this. Simply click Add Form, select the form we have. We only have contact right now. Decide what you want it to look like. You can always click Enable Ajax, it makes it a little smoother. We click Preview Changes. All of those things that we did are on the page. We've got our form right here, and it appears automatically. We've got a slideshow, we've got our image gallery type thing we've got going on down here with the tractors, farm equipment, lawn equipment, and UTVs. And so we've done all that very quickly and simply. You can experiment with this, and that's one of the great things about being able to preview it beforehand. Then you don't have to worry about breaking anything. If it doesn't go right, it's no big deal. And if you need extra help with pages or with anything else, you can always come to us and we will help you out. Oh, and of course, if you click New, you can have a new page, or you can do it over here as well. So we leave this page, not saving it. Then we enter our title, do whatever else we want to do. And it's just like what we were looking at before. Add whatever media. If you ever need to upload new files, you simply go in here, click Upload, and you can upload whatever you need to upload within that. You can insert whatever graphic you want to insert within it. It's fairly simple to use. It's fairly straightforward. If you ever have trouble, though, give us a call, text, email, and we will be happy to help out right away. We're going to move this to the trash right now because we don't want to keep this new page. Now we're going to be moving on and taking a look at Foo Gallery. We use this for a couple of pages on the website. We'll take a look at those real quickly here. Now, this is not our actual website, so let's leave here so we don't actually think that that is a real thing. If we go to our products page, then these things that appear here are controlled by Foo Gallery. And then if we go within tractors, then we have a similar look to what is happening here, and they are also controlled by Foo Gallery. Those are the only two areas we use this, but you can create new galleries on your own if you want to. Let's look at first the idea of editing what we already have here, and then we can look at creating a new one. We're going to go into Products. And then Products here, we have our images that appear on the page. Let's go back to our Products page here. We have our 4 images that appear on the page. Now if you click on this little eye here, it gives information about that image. Within that, we've got this text here that's about what is on that image there. So we have our blue tractor here. Our tractor inventory includes options from 4 major retailers, etc., etc., and we see that appears right there. Now you might notice we have a little bit of extra stuff going on here that might look confusing, where we have this code in the middle of it. Now, we have to be able to have this code within the captions. Typically, we will make it so that you can do a visual editor like we were looking at before on the pages, but then in this case, then it doesn't support that within the captions. So if you run into trouble with this, this is what I suggest you do. If you're ever wanting to make a change to this and you can't figure it out. Now, I think for the most part, you're going to be able to figure it out and be sure that you're just editing things that are not those things right there. But if you ever run into a situation where you need to make more substantial changes to it, you can select all, and you can come over here, we'll create a new page. We're not actually going to use this page, but you can come into here under the text, paste that in there, and then you can understand what's going on. And you can do it in the visual editor style, where you can edit that link right there to make it whatever you want, make whatever changes you want to make. You can make it bold, anything of that nature, and then you come back over here, and you just copy all this text right here, and you come back and you insert it within there. And I'm not going to do that right now because we want to keep it the way that it is. If that looks complicated, if that looks overwhelming, ask us and we will help. And we're happy to help out with any of those things that we need to help out with. But if you want to add new images within this, you probably want to keep them about the same size. In fact, you probably want to keep them exactly the same size because you want them to match the other ones that are on there. In this case, it's 450 by 300. That's the size, that's the resolution. But again, we'll be happy to help out with any of those things we need to help out with. And you insert them within there. If we want to add more images, we say we want to add this here. We can stick that in there. We've got one more image. For just a very brief moment, we're going to have that in there just so you can see how that functions. We clicked update over there, and it automatically appears down here. Now that is live right now, and so we're going to delete it very quickly because we don't want anybody getting confused by that image on the page. You could make some adjustments to these things down here, the gallery template, the thumbnail size, and so forth, but any of those changes are going to make bigger differences than you probably want to be really getting involved with. But you can do that if you want to. Now, if we want to add a new gallery, we can simply click on Add Gallery, and we enter in a title for a simple gallery, and you go through and you add photos just like you would have before. And then if you need to insert this within a page, then let's just add one photo for now, just so we can have something to use here. And we're going to make it a responsive image gallery. And we can choose our size of the image. We're going to click Publish. Now we can create a new page and have it be a simple page. And we're going to click Add Foo Gallery. And we've got our simple gallery to add within that. We've inserted it. Now we can click Preview and take a look at how it looks. We say, that looks fine. Not exactly what we were going for maybe, but it works well enough. We can always go back, experiment, and make changes we need to make back here to have it appear just as we want it to appear. There's even a little preview box down here so you know roughly what it's going to look like. And you can just experiment and see what it is that you want. Come over here to Appearance, and we're not going to worry about themes or customize going into much detail, but we are going to go to Widgets. These widgets control the home page on the website. So we come here, and with the exception of the header, then everything is just for the home page. These things don't appear in any other place on the website. Now the header appears on every page, and we also control that from the widgets. See, this stays the same from place to place. These widgets are easy enough to control. This is our logo. You probably don't want to be changing that out too much. If you do, it needs to be the same size, and we can change it out by clicking Choose Image, and we can get another 125 by 125 image. I suppose really any square image would work, and so even if it's a larger resolution than that, you could do that, but it needs to be equal proportions or it will start to cause trouble for the website. And if you ever need to make a change that is not an exact change like that where it's equal proportions, then we will help out with that and make sure that it looks and functions correctly, but you'll probably want to come to us first. We have this text here. It's fine if you want to change this text. As long as you're going to a size that is a smaller size, it should work fine. If you or a smaller amount of text, then you should be fine, smaller or equal. If you want to go to having more text included within this, something longer that you want to say, then we will probably need to make some adjustments to be sure that the website works properly, because we've arranged it so that there is enough room for it to say that in the right size of letters, but then if you go longer, then it will start to take up more space and cause trouble for layout in other ways. Change your phone number out here, change your hours here if you need to change them. Easy enough to do. This is the menu that we have showing up on the main page. We'll go over menus a little bit more later. You should never have to mess with that there. That should be okay as it is. We don't have a primary sidebar. We don't have a secondary sidebar. It's something that could be useful for some other part of the website at some time. For the home-top, that's referencing the slideshow that is right here. We have this little thing here that says text. Within that, we have soliloquy, ID equals 5. We'll show you how to use soliloquy later to get this little code to put in there. For the most part, you should probably never have to change anything within this box here. Now, you'll make changes to your slideshow maybe down here, but not to the box that is up here. For home left, we're looking at things that go with the left side. And so we have 3 different elements going on there. We have an image of the fine owners of this establishment, and we have some text down here. You should be fine to change this text to as long as you want, and it should still function just fine, I believe. Now, you probably don't really want to go too much longer than what is already there. It's word heavy already. But as far as the layout, you should be okay. Got the title up here for each one of these things, and so that's what appears at the top. We have a link within this to the UTV page. We have the link text, which is see our UTV's page for more info. If you wanted to have some other content beneath it, just normal paragraph text that looks like this right here, then you could enter that within this text box right here. If you enter in some text, you look at it and you say, actually, I don't think that I want that there after all, just delete the text and click save again and you're good to go. Anytime you click save, it's only saving this one widget, not the whole page. So you need to make sure that you click save for each widget that you make changes to. On to the left side, you can always change out these images. They don't need to be exactly the same size as the other images. You can see that's 550 by 507. That's 570 by 595. But then over here, it all looks fine because it's set to have a certain width, and that's how much it will go to. And it will all be okay in that way. Now you do need to have a fairly decent resolution. It doesn't need to be amazing, but it needs to be close to those numbers. If it's lower than those numbers, then you're going to start to have some serious blurriness going on. Go over here, we have home right, and that controls, as you would expect, the right side. We've got quite a few different elements going on the right side here. Got a title for the top. We have an image here. Easy enough to change out that image if we ever want to. Just click on whatever it is you want it to be and then click Update Image. Just needs to be of a sufficiently high resolution. We've got some text for what appears underneath it. And that's this right here. If you want to make changes to this text, that's totally fine. You would be better off to keep it at a very similar number, but it's not going to break the site or anything if you go longer, but it starts to look funny if you have one that is very much longer than the others. If you ever decide that you want to have more than 4 items in this section, then it's possible to add in another item underneath here, and then you'd have a blank spot if you only had one, because then that would be an odd number, but it would still continue to function okay. If you ever have something besides tractors, farming, lawn, UTVs that you want right there, got a repairs estimate section here, and it functions the same. We have our title, we have our link, we have the text for the link, we've got the text that shows up underneath the image there. If you ever make changes, you click save, and then they go live on the website. We've got one final section here with trailers that we've added, and it's set up so that there's only one in here right now, and it's using the same sort of format as what these are over here. And so if you want to add something else to go right next to it, then it would fill out the page nicely. It would look good, I think. So if there's something else that you guys want to do, it's easy enough to make it happen. The 550 type size is what we're normally using for the width, and then the height mostly takes care of itself, just whatever is right. And if you ever want to add a new one for that or any other part of this, then it's very easy to do. You can come over here. If we want an image to appear on the page, which is what we're using here, anytime it says image, then we simply click on it and we say, where do we want it to go? Well, we want it to go on the right side, and so we're going to click Add Widget, and then this is where it would go on the bottom. Let me close this so it doesn't get confusing which one we're working on. And so we can say a new product for the title. We simply choose an image, and we're going to choose this one here randomly. It's not quite big enough. It should still work though. And then we're going to link it to google.com, open a new page, some tractors, amazing tractor stuff. There we go. And then we click save. We're going to do this live for just a moment, just for this one little moment. Hopefully nobody loads it at this time. And we see that it fits right in here, and it can be a part of it, and it looks decent enough, okay? And we've got our link down here just like before. We don't want that to be there though, so we click delete. We come back over here, refresh the page, and it's gone. Easy enough to do. We've got some blank sections here. Don't put anything into the blank sections for the most part without coming and talking to us first. I mean, it's not going to break anything, but it won't look nice because we haven't done anything to set these up to look nice on the website. We are going to be taking a look at forms. And we can come up here and see that we have one form that has already been created. And we're going to go within it and see the elements that are a part of the contact form. You can change these things easily enough. It's labeled name. You can make it so that it's required for having a middle name as well. Just first, just last, whatever it is that you want to do, you can make those changes fairly simply within this. If you want to add a new element, you can drag it over here, drop it down, name it whatever you want. Give it whatever choices you want within a drop-down menu like this. First one, second one. You can make it required or not required. We have quite a few options over here. We're not going to go through all of them, but they are mostly self-explanatory, fairly simple to use. If you click preview, then it doesn't give you a preview of any changes that you've made prior to making it live, and so it's not a very useful preview function within this. And so I'm sorry that it functions in that way, but if you want to see how it looks, you've got to click Update Form, and preview it. You see that now it is there. This is not the way it will actually appear on the website. We have to go to the page where it appears, and we can see exactly how it appears on the website. And whatever you want, first one, second one, obviously we are going to get rid of that very quickly because we don't want anybody to stumble upon that page. Update the form, come back here, and we see that it's gone. Everything is as we want it to be. This is the way the form will appear on the web page. We come over here to Form Settings. You can change the name of the form. That just affects how you see it. You can change what it says at the bottom. If you want it to say something other than Submit at the bottom, you can type it in here. You can even have an image they click on instead. And we can enable anti-spam and enable animations, which we actually want to do. Come over here. We have a confirmations area. And we come over here and we have a confirmations area. I did that though. Oh, now I gotta update it. We come over here and we have a, wait, no, we're in Form Settings. We come over here and we have a confirmations area, and we have a default confirmation right now that says thanks for contacting us. We will get in touch shortly. If you want to change this, you can click Edit, and this function is just like it does with Pages, where you can type in whatever you want, add whatever media you want, and we can even do that right now. It'd probably be a good idea. Since we have this personal flavor to the company, it's a family-owned type business, let's add this in right here. And we'll align that to the center. And we can even make this a little bit bigger. It's going to look pretty nice. It's going to be something that's a little bit more exciting than just the generic message. We're going to click Save Confirmation. That way people feel like they have a personal connection with you after they have submitted a contact form. Now, that's only the confirmation that they get on that page. We also want to have notifications go out to you, and so we have an admin notification, and it's set up to admin email right now, so that should be something that is going to you already for contact forms if people come in and submit anything to you. You can also always see the entries over here by clicking on Entries. Right now we have it set up just to be in the generic way, and it says New Submission From, and it will be from this form title and from all the fields. We're going to change this out now though. Instead of being from the admin email, we want it to be from the email address that was filled out on the form. You can make these adjustments too if you'd like to, but at the moment what we're wanting to do is simply get it set up so it's functioning perfectly for you. Click Save, or Update Notification rather, and now that's updated and it will be going your way. You should be seeing emails as people come to your website more and more. If you ever want to create a new form, you simply click on New Form, and you can give it a title, a description if you want to, but it's not necessary. You must give it a title though, and you drag and drop these things to your heart's content. Make whatever adjustments you need to make, update the form. Within a page, it's easy to add forms as we showed before in the Pages tutorial. Simply go into here, click Add Form, select which one you want. You can enable Ajax, that always makes it run a little smoother. We're not going to have the title or the description on this one. That's just up to you, whatever you're wanting in that moment. And we don't have anything within our form because we didn't make any customization options to it. But otherwise, we would be having a form right there that was ready to go. And it would be able to function as it is right now. We're going to move on to Soliloquy. This is our slideshow system for the home page. And so even though everything else on this page is controlled from widgets, in a sense this is too, but if you want to actually change images for the slideshow, you don't do it through the widget section, you do it through the slider section here for Soliloquy. We have this home slider and we click on Edit. Now, we go over here to Config and we want to see this first. The images are supposed to be, sorry, it's going crazy, there we go, 1275 by 450. So if you put an image of a different size in there, it will work. It won't break the slider, but it's not going to appear the way that you want it to appear. If it's too narrow, it's not going to fill up the whole width of this slider. If it's too short, it won't fill up the whole height. If it's larger, then it will try to fit it in there in the best way it knows how, but it might not be perfect. So the way that you want to approach it is to have it be that any image you put in here is 1275 by 450. Now, hopefully that's something you all can do on your own, but if you can't, then we're able to help out with that. If you have an image you're ready to have on there, a graphic that you want on there, then we will help to resize it the best that we can to be able to fit in there if you need help with that. You can make some other changes here on the configuration section as well. We only have a couple of options here on the themes right now, but and for transitions as well. You can change how long it takes between slides. You can change a few other variables. Mainly you're going to be wanting to make changes to images though. If you want to add a new image, you click Select Images and you upload it from your computer. This might look a little different than your computer because I'm running on a Mac. You might be on a Windows computer, and so you just select whatever it is you want to have. You click Open, it uploads it. This does not become live until you click Update, so what we're doing right now will not appear there. There will not be an image of women working out. This is from another website that we work on. And if you want to add any sort of text or link information to it, you can. We don't have it set up to have text showing up on here, any captions showing up on there, so it won't look terribly nice at the moment. But if you want to add a link to a different page, which is something you very well might want to do, then you can add it in right here for the image hyperlink. You can make it stay in that same tab or open in a new tab. Like I said, we've got the image caption section here, but it's probably not something you're going to want to do because we don't have it set up to look terribly great right now at the moment, because it's not something we're utilizing in that slider area. Click Save Metadata. If you want it to go live, you click Update. We don't want to do that, so we're going to delete that one there. Let's say you want to change out the order that these are in though. That's easy enough to do, and it won't harm us to do that for a moment. Now it's in a new order, and it will go from that to our image of the store as a whole. We'll move it back to the way it was though. It's a good way for people to start off to see the store when they first come onto the page. And now it's saved. If you want to have a slider somewhere else, you can click Add New and make a new slider. Add whatever images you want to have added to it. And we'll have a little picture of a kid. We're going to click Publish. This isn't going anywhere right now because we haven't told it to go anywhere. But you see here, we have this little set of code here. Now these can all work, but the top one is the one you'll typically want to be copying. And so now we've got that. You don't see it now. If you ever want to see it again, you can click on there and it will show you again. Or if you just click on Soliloquy, then it's also within this. The shortcode is marked right there, and you can copy it from there. Wherever you want it to appear, you can make it appear. If you want to have it in a widget, you can do that within any text widget. If we wanted it to be up on top, we could paste it in there and it would appear there. Wouldn't work well in that spot right there, but we could do it. Within a page, you can paste that in there in the same way, but you can also click on that little icon there, and you can insert it from within this and not ever have to worry about copying and pasting the code. Either way will work just fine, and they will accomplish what you want to accomplish. We also want to take a quick look at users before we're done. I'm going to leave this page. We have quite a few users here. We really don't need my wife to be a user anymore. She helped out on one small part of this website before. And we actually don't want David to be a user either. Not because we don't like him or trust him, but because we have a different username we're using now instead. And we have Kenny, MegF6, West County staff. Those are all ones that we want to keep there for the moment. And West County staff is the one that you all should be using at the time being, but you can always add a new user as well. You simply type in new username and an email address, and we'll make one up for now. And you can fill in first name, last name if you want to, website, but you don't have to. Now, if you want to, you can see the password here, but otherwise it'll just keep it hidden and just send it to that person or whatever email address you set up. If we go on here, we see that it's an automatically generated password and it's complicated and long. If you want to do a new password that is different, then you can do that. An easy password. But it's very weak. It makes your site more vulnerable to security risks. And so then you have to click here that says confirm use of weak password. You're really better off just using what they provide for you, or at least making sure that the password you have gets into this strong category one way or another. And you can set the role to being an administrator. That means they have control over everything. That's what you're going to probably always be doing. I don't know a particular reason why you'd have a lower level, but an editor can make changes to posts and pages, but can't do any changes with plugins, and I don't think an editor can make changes to widgets either. An author can only write posts. They can't do anything else. There's some slight difference with a contributor versus an author, but it escapes me at the moment what the difference is. And then a subscriber is someone who can access the site to see what is going on the page, but cannot control anything at all, which wouldn't be relevant for your site. That might be relevant for a news site or something of that nature. But administrator is probably what you're going to always be doing. You simply click add new user, and then the user will appear there. It's simple enough. If you go within this, within a user's name, then you can make changes. You can change the email address, the nickname, first name, last name. You can make it so that then everything appears a little different with the colors within WordPress for you, and several other changes that are not terribly relevant for your website. And then you can click update user, and it will update the user just as you want it to be. Really shouldn't be too much more to users. If you ever do have a problem with it, somehow you're not able to get in and you need a password reset, we can help you with that, or any other problem you have with users, then send us a text, send us an email, whatever it is. We will be glad to help out. And finally, we're going to be taking a look at the menus. It's under Appearance, and the menus are very simple. If you want to add something more to the menu, you simply click over here and then you can add it to the menu. And then it pops up over here at the bottom, and you can drag it where you want it to go. If it stays right where it's at, then it will be a part of the main menu, but then it will become a sub-menu if you drag it over to the side, or you can even make a sub-menu. And then I believe that's as far as it will let you go. No, I guess you can keep going indefinitely, but our site doesn't actually support it. And so in theory, you could just keep going and going, but you don't really want to do that probably. And so you can arrange those in whatever way you need to arrange them. You can delete whatever you need to delete. None of it will become live until you click Save Menu. We're not going to do that right now. Now, it's fine to add as many menu items and sub-menu items as you want to. So if you want to have more items underneath the menu, not the main things up here, but underneath it, then that's totally fine. And you can do as many as you want. And you have room for more up here right now. And it should work okay if you have maybe one more, possibly two. But you get to a certain point, and you can see that it starts to get kind of crowded. And so we can't fit too many more in here in a spot like this. And so we can make changes to make it fit, and we can fit whatever we need to fit. But we want to try to limit those to those areas that are the most important on the website. And then we will need to make changes if you want to go beyond that and have more than, say, 6 or so. It depends on the length of the word, of course. But if you ever make changes here, you click Save Menu, you're good to go. If you want to connect to something other than something on your website, then you can enter in that information here. And whenever you're ready to go, you click Save Menu, and that is all you have to do. And that is menus. I believe this covers most everything that you need to know for being able to effectively operate your website. It's a lot to take in. You might not know what you're doing immediately, but over time I'm sure you will learn how to effectively use this. If you need help, we're there to help you. We want to be able to put you in a place where you are most successful. So send us an email or a text. Don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll be happy to help out in whatever way we can. Sometimes that just means directing you toward a training video. Sometimes that means that we will go in and do everything for you, and sometimes it means somewhere in between. But we want to put you in a place where you're able to be successful with your website. So whatever it takes, we'll do. And be sure that you get to a place where you are happy and satisfied, and you're able to effectively reach your potential clients out there in the world.